and welcome to episode 13 of the Flying Yak podcast. Today is Saturday, September 10th, 2016. I'm your host, Chantal Belil. You can find me on Instagram at _flying_yak. This week, I have a ton of whips. I haven't been able to record in the past little over 2 weeks, and I've got some stuff to talk about. I started my new job at the yarn store, so that's been going well. I've been knitting a bunch of sample pieces, and I've gotten a chance to knit with some newer stuff, and yeah, I have a little. Okay, there we go. I don't even know where to start. Last week on Monday, I'd been planning to podcast a little bit, but I ended up getting a new tattoo, so that kind of took it out of me. They're painful. I always need a nap after getting a tattoo, so I decided we're not going to podcast. I was a little grumpy. It makes me feel like I just got sunstruck all the time. It's a little unfortunate, but I can show it to you guys. Look at him! He's a goat chicken. Yeah, it goes all the way around. He's a chicken who has the head of a goat. He's amazing. I'm so impressed with how he looks. I'm very pleased. So that's what's new this week in my life. I've gotten mixed reactions. I haven't heard from either of my parents yet, but I love him. It took 3 hours, and this is about as close as you can get to your armpit, and it was excruciating. Note to self, don't get your armpits tattooed. Just note to the world, learn from my mistake. Don't tattoo your armpits. Yeah. What else is new? I've been working. I've been working at the new yarn shop, or the old yarn shop. That is my new job. I love it. It's been going spectacularly. We had a spin-in last night. It was adorable. I got a bunch of spinning done. It's all new spinning. I did some more spinning this morning because I got into a spinning mojo. I love spinning. I always forget how much I love spinning. I'm always like, it makes yarn. Such pretty yarn. There's so much pretty fiber in the world. I really need to get my spinning mojo on. So, yeah, let's start talking. Let's go. I cast on some sweaters. I always feel like I'm in a sweater jive. I feel like I need to cast on every single sweater all the time. This is my new, I don't know if you guys saw this. I got it in the mail. I got it in the mail the same day I got back from Twist, but I don't know if I've shown it off. This is my new bag from the Fat Squirrel. It's adorable. It just fits my sweater. It's not zipped. And I left the lavender sachet that comes with it inside, so every time I open it, it smells like lavender, which is great. Yeah, so sweater. This is the Sugar Maple. It's asymmetrical-ish sweater. Asymmetrical, definitely, from Carina Spencer. I'm making, it's made for a gradient yarn. I'm just making my own gradient with 3 skeins of yarn. So it's gonna go from this, at the top. If I can line it up, there's a seam that goes down. That's a slipped stitch with increases on either side. That just works its way down the body and goes like from here down. And it's really flattering. It's a nice piece. I'm working my gradient as I go. So I don't have color 1 with me. It's downstairs. But color 1 is Ghost. This is color 2. It's called Grellow. And this is color 3, which is Goldenrod. You might be seeing a color theme. I love yellow. It's from Riverside Studio, which is a new to me yarn. This is my first project using their stuff, so Riverside Studio. It's weird, like, there you go, there's a pretty picture of some Riversides. It's, 100% Superwash merino singles, 420 meters, 150 grams. It's a little generous. And, yeah. It's super pretty. It's based out of Wakefield, Ontario, which is just outside Wakefield, Quebec. It's just on the other side of the border from Ontario. It's super pretty. I'm in love with it. It's been going really well so far. I worked most of the neck. It's worked in a raglan also along the edges. It's usually a t-shirt, but I'm gonna make mine with like down to here or maybe here sleeves, depending on how much yarn I have. For the gradient, so I worked it in by doing like 1 row of color of the Grellow, 4 rows of the Ghost, 2 rows of the Grellow, 3 rows of the Ghost, 3 rows of the Grellow, so on and so forth until it was all Grellow all the time. I'm really liking it. I think it looks really smooth. I've had a pooling problem. I've been trying to like tame the yarn, to do some yarn editing. I just brought in the first row of the goldenrod, so it's just there, the new row. It's quite yellow. I'm a little disappointed. I got a little bit of pooling, so you can see here it's pooling just the last inch. I don't really like it, so I'm thinking about tearing it up, which is why I got a bunch of work on it done, and then I just stopped because I was thinking about ripping it out. It's really, and I know I won't be happy with it unless it's like the colors don't pool, but if I show you the seam where I'm switching colors, it's been getting chaotic because there's 2 huge holes for me trying to take out lengths of yarn to edit the yarn. So I might try that. I might just restart the last 2 inches, like go back to here. They're still pooling. Look at that. It's all great. I don't like it. So I might tear back the last 8 rows, build them back up. I was alternating strands, so there's 2 strands of this, or there was 2 strands of this going. I was trying to alternate. I might just do 1 strand and just pull out lengths of it and then do like a crochet through the lengths to try and keep it together afterwards. I'm really not liking the pulling, and like, it's not happy. I'm gonna switch that. There is shaping in it, so you do some shaping along the edges with some knit 3-togethers, and then it'll flare out after. It's a really pretty sweater. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, there's been pooling, so I just kind of set it aside because I was a little upset. Knitting it on 3.5s, probably 3.25 millimeter needles. It's going. It was so speedy, super duper speedy. I love a fingering weight sweater, and just knowing that there's not a full sleeve is keeping me like really excited about it. Second sweater I cast on in the past 2 weeks is the boyfriend sweater. So Mr. Boyfriend has a birthday coming up in October, plenty of time. So I have a month left. I finished the front. It's a cabled sweater. It's heavily cabled. I think it's called the cabled sweater with funnel neck from Bergere de France, which is this bad boy. Yeah, I bought the book because the pattern was just physically impossible to find. I couldn't even buy the book off their website. I had to go to like a distributor because it's the 2015-2016 edition, and we're on 2016-2017 right now. But it's a really cool cable panel down the middle, and then there's cables down the side, and then there's a broken rib pattern, which is beautiful. I love it. It's a lot of texture. I'm making it in the large size. It's quite long. Men are huge. The pattern was a little weird. It told you like works 7 centimeters of rib, but it also told you work 20 rows of rib, and my 7 centimeters of rib was 12 rows. I was not working extra rib, so I just did 12 rows of ribbing. It's a little short. I think there could have been longer ribbing, but screw it. I don't really care. So I got the front done. It's beautiful. I can show you a picture. So I need to tell you a little story about this. Just your book. So they knit the sample out of black, or like dark forest, navy green, something. And then they took a picture of it and then shrunk it down to 2.5 inches and then they published it on telephone book paper. So that's the sweater I'm knitting. You can't see it. You might think it's the, like, you can kind of almost see the cables. Or, yeah, but you can't see anything. For those of you who are designing, please knit your things out of colors people can see. Oh, I can look up the name. Yeah, cabled pullover with funnel neck, pattern 162. So, yeah, I found that pattern on Rav. I looked up, like, men's worsted weight sweaters, yada, yada, yada. That's pretty much it. Men's worsted. I may have just been looking at men's sweaters, actually. And then I found this pattern, and I totally fell in love with it, and it was super flattering, and I sent it to Kaplan to be like, I'm not knitting you a surprise sweater, please be something you like, and pick the color. So he picked this color. I have the tag, I brought the tag upstairs. Sweet Georgia. Oxblood. 200 yards per 115 grams. God, people are so generous with yarn. 4 ounces, look at that. So, yeah, the yarn. Anyways, so I found the pattern, picked out the yarn at my store, and then I went home. I bought the yarn, and I went home, and I tried to figure out how the hell to buy this pattern. The only way I could buy it is by buying the whole catalog of patterns, which you may think is, look at that book, that's a lot of patterns. There's 2 of them! I paid $20 and got like, something like 312 patterns. So many patterns. And instead of being sorted in a useful way, like all our sweater patterns, all of our hat patterns, all of our blanket patterns, they're sorted by difficulty. They're sorted from super duper easy to expert, and they're not sorted within the categories. And there's no index. So you just need to flip through and find it. I knew what the pattern name was and the pattern number, like the 162, and I had a tough time finding it. It took me like 5 minutes to find the pattern in the books. But, ludicrous. I also, this book is awful. All of the patterns are really shitty. Yeah, there's not that much I'm gonna knit, probably. 'Cause I don't need the bumblebee look. There's a lot of ugly sweaters in here. There's a lot of crochet ponchos. Oh, I think this is the crochet one. Nope, this is knit. I'm not sure how they're organized. There's a lot of purses. I didn't know purse knitting was a niche that needed to be fulfilled. But, this is cool. There's like an embroidered pencil case. I haven't even looked through it. I just found my pattern and went go. But not only did I get 2 pattern books, I got 2 yarn sample books. So I got, look at all these I got all of their sample yarns for all of their acrylics and chenilles and sparkle yarns and fluffy yarns. Wait, I can't. There you go. Look at these yarns. I'm not gonna buy any of this, and even if I want, no. None of this. Look at this. All of it is terrible. So the sweater I'm knitting calls for like 50-50 superwash wool acrylic. I'm making it out of a wool. Wool. Yeah, so I got 2 of these. If anybody needs these, please contact me. I will give them up for free. So yeah, they came in a huge box, and I was like, I ordered a pattern, and I got, like, because I got $4. I wanted a page. The pattern takes up a page. The chart is super easy to read. It's a 6-row repeat for the middle cable and a 4-row repeat for the side cable. So it's a 24-row full repeat. It's super easy. It's a really simple cable that looks really difficult. I was warned by one of my coworkers that you really need to alternate skeins. So I'm working from 2 skeins at a time. I've been noticing a lot of color differences, so I'm really glad I did. This is the back of the sweater. It's just the broken rib pattern, so I've just gotten like 3 repeats of the 2-row pattern out. I had about 6-7 inches of the broken rib done, which took forever. And then I realized that I'd been knitting on 4.5 millimeters, which was my rib needles and just hadn't switched to the 5mm needles. And so my gauge was completely out of whack. And I already knit the front panel. So I had to rip out a bunch. So this has been in timeout. A lot of stuff, I've been casting on a lot because a lot of stuff has been in timeout. This is gonna get set aside for a little bit, but I do have to finish in the next month, so I might have to just crack down and have at her. I'm going out tonight, so I might bring that to work on because it's just broken rib. Yeah, that's gonna get worked on. I bought 7 skeins of, I have another ball here, I can show it more closely, of this color. It's so pretty. It's a little bit darker than it's showing up. It's called Oxblood. Super hardcore. It's a pretty color. I'm so glad Kathleen doesn't only wear black. A lot of men don't wear colors. Or they don't like knitted things in colors. So I'm really glad I got this boy who can wear red. Yeah, that's another thing. I also, while waiting, oh, I didn't, oh, is it in here? Okay, I dropped it by the train. But, I need a swatch. Look at this swatch. It's upside down. Look at this swatch. I made a swatch of the broken rib, which flattens out a lot. It's really pretty. Let me put my hand. And I made a swatch cable. So you can see the cables lay a lot more flat once they're finished. I'm debating putting a cable like up the arm. I don't think I will, just because that sounds labor intensive and I've already ripped out like 6 inches of this sweater and I have no interest in it. But I totally made a swatch. And while the swatch was drying, I cast something on. Because I was about to cast on a sweater, but it was like partly sunny, partly cloudy. And my swatch wasn't drying on my balcony. So I made a Cozy Mountains Memories blanket. You may remember that I already cast one of these on. And I changed my mind. I didn't like how it was working out. So I cast on a different one. This is the same-ish pattern. It's just a mitered square. But instead of doing a knit 2 together next to a slip stitch knit, I'm doing a central double decrease, so it gives this really nice spine, which I love, and they're all going to be coming out like that, and then one going in the other direction, so it's going to do like a central point. This is the yarn that I cast on socks with last time I podcasted, and I didn't like the socks. I'm really liking the yarn and the little square, so I cast on something else with it this week. I ripped out the cuff. I didn't even keep the cuff. I wasn't going to be using it, so it's okay. I needed the needles. I can't even remember what for, but here's 5 squares of a memory blanket. I probably need like 300. I love blankets. Kathleen got me a new blanket yesterday for our anniversary that has Moomin on it. Moomin! And 2 Moomin mugs. So you can look up who Moomin is. It's MOOMIN. He's a little critter who's a Finnish-Swedish troll, and it's adorable. The television show is so bland. I love it. So it's a little white troll that's cute. You've probably seen him on like mugs and napkins and stuff if you've been to Scandinavia. He's huge there. But Kathleen got one here for me, so I'm very excited. It's super soft. It's right here. But yeah, I cast on a new blanket. I made 19 of the other squares, so I might just crochet them together and call it a pillow. Or a carpet or something. But yeah, this is new Cozy Memory blanket. It's the cozier memory blanket. We'll see how it goes. I prefer the central double crease. It's cleaner. We'll see. Next up, I haven't been working on socks. I've been in a sweater crackdown, and I don't have much like chill time. I'm either at work or at home. And at home, I like knitting on sweaters because I have a lot of room, and sweaters make me feel like I'm a knitter. And then at work, I knit on work stuff, samples for the shop. So I only got a half sock done in the past like 3 weeks. So this is sock A. It took me like 12 hours. I did this on the trip back from from Ottawa to Toronto. This is sock B. I'm knitting it backwards, the other way down the gradient. I'm really enjoying it. It's so pretty. I have this much left, so the rest of the sock. I had maybe like 4 grams left of the color of the brown at this end, so I might do the heel in brown on this one and blue on this one, but we'll see. I haven't decided yet. I might also just use a mini skein of something. They're very cute, but they're a little too big. The yarn is really dense. I'm really liking it. It's the Killarney sock from the blue brick in the Kim's Barn color. It's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I think there might be boyfriend socks. Screw him. Getting all the I make socks a little too big about 50% of the time, so that's the ones that get dictated to be him socks. Gradient. They're pretty. I don't have much to say about them. I'll have to wear them and see how they go. I'm doing a rounded toe, which is newer to me. I like it. I think it's prettier than the trapezoid toe. And it's super shallow, which I'm okay with. I haven't been wearing it much. I have one other sock that I have a rounded toe on, but I haven't finished sock 2 of that yarn either. So we'll see how that goes. We're not knitting a lot of socks. Yeah, and then finally, the only thing that's not cast on in the past 2 weeks is middle of the row. Obviously, I'm useless. I'm sorry. I was on the purl side. That's why I stopped, because I wanted to sleep, and I don't like the purl sides of shawls. I picked up, again, my slip-to-rib scarf from Stephen West. So, yeah, it's just a rib pattern. It's really simple. In the first color, I'd done it wrong. You're supposed to line up your knits and your slips to make this cool pattern, but I forgot. I didn't do it. So it has this weird moss stitch pattern, which I really like. I'm okay with it, so it's okay. This is out of Spinne, which is an Icelandic yarn. It's East Texas Superwash wool. They sell it as children's wool. It comes in terrible colors. But this is color 4. I think I have six skeins of it. I have a purple that comes after this, and then a bright green. They're somewhere in the stash. I know I moved with them. I decided to start looking for them once I finished this skein. Almost done. Almost done. I'm enjoying it. I'm only knitting this because it's on the list of things to knit by Stephen West, and I wanted to try this yarn. It's not super soft. It might end up being a Christmas present to someone I'm not super attached to. Or to someone who could use a nice, warm, manly colored scarf. We'll see. Catherine might wear it. It's still a shawl shape though. We'll see. Most things I knit are some crazy ass colors. So this is gray. I'm not attached. It's just to get through the list of all of the Stephen West. For those of you who don't know, at the earlier episodes of the podcast, I announced I was knitting all of the Stephen West in order, and then I got distracted. So this is more of the Stephen West. I didn't show it for long. You'll see when this is finished. It's at the middle of the row. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to show you pictures of what I finished this since last podcast. It's on my phone. I haven't gotten a chance to bring it home because they're for the shop. So I knit a lot of shop samples recently. I love knitting shop samples because I get to knit with yarn I haven't knit with before because it's for the shop, and I'm not touching my stash. I feel like stash yarn, I'm just like, what if I don't choose the right pattern? What if it doesn't look right? What if I just waste this beautiful yarn? But because I haven't paid for the yarn, I get to just play with it and not really care. So, because it's not mine. So I knit this mini sweater. It's the Wee Chickadee by Isolde Teague. It has chickens. Can I zoom in on the chickens? Chickens! It was super fun. It's out of Titus, which is the fingering weight yarn from Bahramu. It's super pretty. I really enjoyed it. It was quick. It was speedy. It was adorable. These are all the colors we used. We didn't use the white after all, though. It was tiny. I liked it. It's in the like 3 to 6 month size. It was fingering weight, and it took me like 6 days. It was the speediest thing that I ever knitted. And then I crocheted, which I haven't done in a while. I'm enjoying it. Crochet is nice. Crochet is fast. This is a picture from the shop. that's the blanket. It's quite big. It's 12 skeins of narrow silk garden in one of the colors. There's so many colors. There's 3 colors. I just alternated. It's one of those things where you don't actually do anything. The color like changes for you. It's a self-striping yarn. That's with like long color beads. It was very pretty. It was fun. There were a few breaks and a few knots, but I'm not too complainy. So I made that for the shop, so that was cool. And then I also made, you may have seen it on my Instagram, I made the Lizard Ridge. We blocked it out. It was huge. It's like 35 inches by 35 inches. I knit it on 10 millimeter needles out of a bulky Curion Air, which is like a single ply 100 yards to 100 meters type yarn. It was bulky as all hell. That was the first sample I knit. It took me like the evening, and by the next day I'd finished it. So they were pretty speedy. I enjoyed it. It was quite fun. That's all the sample knitting I think I've done. I cast on a 2x2 rib scarf, and I'm two-thirds of the way through. I haven't taken a picture because 2x2 rib is about as boring as it gets. It was very broken. The skein was clipped, so I've had about 20 ends to weave in so far, and I've finished like half the scarf, and I wove in half everything so far of the ends to weave in, just because it was getting a little chaotic. But yeah, that's working. I realized I forgot a whip because I didn't put it in the show notes because I put it in my bag and then I didn't take it out yet, so I'm gonna show you. I decided to design a shawl because I had a shawl idea. It's just a little test knit. It's an I-cord edge. That's ludicrous. So this is it so far. It's a fun little pew pew pew. I think it'll be amazing. I'm hoping it looks cute. I might do sections in it that are like noodles. I think it looks like a macaroni necklace. Oh, I should make it into a cowl. I'm not sure what it is yet, but this yarn needed to be cast on. It wasn't working as socks, and now it's a shawl. I think it'll be super fun. I'm digging this I-cord edge. So we'll see. It might be a pattern. It might just be me being silly. I cast it on last night because oh my gosh, I love it. It's a work in progress. Yeah, I've been casting on a lot of things. I'm in such a casty-on-y mood. I've just been going crazy with the cast-ons. Spinning. Oh, this yarn is Fireworks by Crazy Dog Dye Works. I'm so tired. I'm sorry I'm being like exciting, weird, awkward. So this is spinning. I've been spinning this stuff, which is exactly the shade of yellow it's coming out. So I have this much left. I got a 50-gram braid while I was at Twist. I can't remember the name of the dyer, and I threw away the tags. So we will never know. But wait, let me just butterfly this a little. So this is the weight I'm spinning. It's pretty thin. It's not as thin as I can go, but it's like as thin as I can go while going super duper fast. There was a spin in last night at work, as I said, so I got this much done, plus a little bit more this morning. This is like 35-ish grams, and I have about 10 to 15 grams left of really smushy yarn. It's 100% merino. When I took it out of the braid, it felt and looked super felted. It still does. But as soon as I started spinning, it spun like butter. It's a great spin. So I will try and find out who it was. I'm going to look up the vendors list. Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. And this is braid 2. Braid 2. It's the most Eastery, fun colors. It looks super pretty in the braid. It looks super pretty in the, like, top. And it's gonna look super pretty. I'm gonna ply these two together. So it's gonna be like this. as a plied yarn. Just one ply yellow, one ply crazy, and I hope it looks pretty. I don't know. I'm gonna like see how the yarn turns out and then decide what I'm gonna do with it. But yeah, I think it's gonna be super fun. It's like Easter-tastic. It's just 100% merino. It's not even superwash, but it looks like a budgie. It looks like a budgie ate a bunch of peeps, and I love it. It's so fun. It's just my colors. I'm in a very Easter mood color-wise. What else is going on? More spinning. I finished a skein of like fun bizarreness. I think it was all just random wool bits that were in my house. And I just spun them one after the other and then did a Navajo ply, or I chain plied it. It's not even, oh, there's one of the threads is out. This is okay. Can I just pull? Sorry, this is going not as well as I'd hoped. I think the like end of the skein is twisting around everything. And I don't want to snap it. There we go. I'll just tuck that end in. Break music. So, it's a little bit heavily spun. There's a lot of energy. So, I may have overspun it. I tried to ply it less than I'd spun it, but it's still like pretty tightly plied. It varies from being a fingering to a DK. I wasn't trying for a weight. I would just spin what each sample kind of wanted to be. I'm thinking it would make a cute hat. There's some yellow, some red, some purples. Some of them are variegated, some of them are solids. It's like probably 60-ish grams. I didn't even weigh it. I didn't measure the yardage. I might make it into a top-down hat, and when I run out of yarn, I'll add ribbing and like this color, because yellow hats, and then call it a day. But it's super pretty. I'm very pleased. I might knit from like one from each end of the skein and see how that goes. That could be really pretty. Make some stripies, do like a Noro hat, Noro stripe. But yeah, this needs a bath. It hasn't been washed yet. It's a little crinkly. I hope it loses some. Yeah, there's a lot of twist. It's not even untwisting itself. But I'm very pleased. It was on the wheel. So I had to empty the bobbin so I can ply the Easter yarn. I never empty bobbins. I'm really bad at it. I only own 3 bobbins though, and I don't want to own more bobbins because that just means I'll never ply anything. I don't like plying. I spin. I'm a spinner, not a plier. But this is gonna have a bath, and it'll probably be cast on for next week because I'm really into casting it on. Casting it on sounds like a blast. And then I bought some yarn. So all the other yarn that I bought, I cast on. So that's the oxblood. And I haven't podcasted in so long that I've probably bought other yarn. No, I haven't. I've only bought the oxblood since I started working. I've been a good little noodle. But I broke down. I bought 10 skeins of Highlander and the Diamond Luxury. It's a little more blue-green than it's coming out, but the colors have been super accurate today. I don't know what I've done to make the colors more accurate. It just isn't sunny out. That might be the deal maker. So I bought 10 skeins of this. It's super smushy. It's 100% wool, 100% Highland wool. Is that British? No one will ever know. It's yarn from a mountain. It's yarn from above sea level is what I'm getting. It's like sport to DK. It's like skinny, but there's some whoosh to it. So I'm using it as a DK yarn. I bought it mostly because I wanted a woolly yarn, but also because it was $10 a skein, or $6 a skein. And with my employee discount, I paid $52 for a dress's worth of yarn. Dress! So I got my Christmas dress all set up. I knit a dress last Christmas, And now I want to knit a dress for this Christmas. And it's going to be much more simple. This is the dress. It's the slitted dress from Pickles. And I think it's going to look adorable on me. They're very simple. The yarn is... It's next to Skin Soft. But it's next to Skin Soft if you like sheep. It's a little sheepy. But it's not Superwash. I will have to wear a bib. But I think it'll look really cute. Gray hair on blue. I was thinking about trimming it with some I-cord along the slit and along the bottom of the dress and the cuff. And I couldn't decide between lime green and raspberry sorbet pink. So I'm gonna finish the dress and then try doing one cuff in pink and one cuff in green and seeing which one looks cuter. Or I might be I hate green by Christmas and just do it in pink. Or maybe we come out with a new color and I do it in light blue on top of the blue. We'll see. So that's yet to be decided. I'm avoiding casting this on. I have so much on the needles right now. I have another 2 sweaters that aren't finished. I have my brown sweater and my stripy crop top that both need just one sleeve. Everything needs sleeves. Why do... I hate sleeves. I know I should be thankful because I'm a short person with short arms, so sleeves don't take that long, but I hate sleeves. One day I'll knit sleeves. Today's not that day. Maybe today is that day. We'll see. Yeah, so Highlander. I think that's all. I'm rambling. I'm gonna try and podcast more consistently. I still haven't found the perfect podcast day. It's definitely not gonna be Saturdays. This is just kind of a one-off. I kind of got thrown into my schedule a little weirdly, so it's gonna even out, and I'm gonna start working more consistently. It might be Wednesdays, it might be Mondays. I'll find a date and try and stick to it. I liked Fridays, but I work Fridays now. I miss the joy of unemployment. I like the money of employment. But yeah, so that'll be in the future. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I am always available. For those of you not in the know, the Mystery Knit Along signups are out for the new Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, and it calls for 4 skeins of fingering, which I definitely have in the stash, but which I will go out and buy anyways. So, thank you so much. Have a great week. I hope you are all well and healthy and peachy keen, and go have a pumpkin spice latte. Bye now.